Why, hello and welcome back, all of my friends, my fans, and my fellow FTFLers to the longest weekly running episodic fantasy football update show out there. It is the FTFL Weekly Update, and I, of course, as always, am not only your host. No, I go above and beyond that. Not only the owner of one of the charter member teams, the Hulkamaniacs. That's right. No, not just double duty, triple duty, my friends. Because I, as you can see from the shiny object draped over my shoulder that you can't take your eyes off of, this championship title tells every single person out there that me, Brett Sieber, I am the champion of the FTFL. Yes, indeedy, boys and girls, but I want to start this week's show with congratulating this year's co-champions, Jeff Markser, Eric Light. Never before have we had two champions in the same year, and never before has a champion been undefeated like both Jeff and Eric are. It is truly an amazing... Wait, hold on here, wait. I read my notes wrong. This was a mistake I made. It was congratulating Jeff and Eric on just starting the season 3-0. Now you're probably thinking you were believing it, you were buying it, and why? Because everything we've heard, everything we've been told is like, oh, it's over, 3 weeks in, shut it down, turn out the lights. This party has seen its expiration date. Because you went 3-0? Because I went 0-3, that's it? That's how we're going to judge this? How on earth does that, how do you function on a daily basis? When you get up out of bed in the morning, whatever time you drag your sorry carcass out from underneath those sheets, and you look around and go, well, today's going to be a tough day, I think I'm out. Is that how it is? Because let me tell you what, that's not the kind of grit that puts this over the shoulder or around the waist, my friends. No, it's not. So, yeah, congratulations, Jeff and Eric, you went 3-0. Whoop-de-damn-do. Let's see what you do from here on out. And other teams from here on out are going to look different because we had not one, not two, not three, not four, but five trades, and two trades involving take that back. 3 trades involving one team in particular who happened to on Monday night seize his second victory of the year and now is looking full steam ahead. Look out, Jeff and Eric. Ooh, yeah. And even if Jeff were to win, Eric were to win, or maybe Andy were to win this year, doesn't matter. Because as far as I can see at the text exchange from this past week, maybe we're starting over. We're one vote away from pushing the self-destruct button, and the whole FTFL goes up in flames, and we start over. John, get on that. Your friends from the Architect have called. They'd like some help. Your friends from the Val Vandals have called. They'd like some help. Hell, I'd even take some help right about now. Do it, John. Make it happen. Let's start this thing over now. If we started over, I know Jeff would cry for nights into his pillow, and maybe he does that already, I don't know, because he feels bad about breaking and entering and stealing my championship title, but that's a different story for another time. If we started over, Lamar Jackson's just torrid start to the season wouldn't even count. We've never seen anything quite like this. What he's doing right now, and is why Jeff is 3-0. If we didn't play another down this season, he has already scored as many points that would make him the 32nd best quarterback all of last season. And you're like, well, 32nd, that's really not all that impressive. No, but it's ahead of guys who had 10, 11 starts in the league last year. And Lamar Jackson's already there. Now, of course, will he continue this stretch? Boy, that's really tough to do. Will he get hurt? That's a little less tough to do. If you're Jeff Markser, fingers crossed, hands together, every moment of every day that you're not spending, just corrupting the minds of America's youth. I got to imagine you're saying nice things about Lamar Jackson and the people surrounding him. One last thing before we get into the games. North versus South Part 1, which North versus South Part 2, by the way, is already coming up here next week in Week 4. Week 3, it goes to the North, 3-2, as I think it normally does. And in part because my guest tonight was on the losing end of one of those battles, therefore putting the South behind 3-2. He was in one of the 2 brother-in-law bowls. And for those of you who are paying attention and taking notes at home, you're going, well, I'm looking at one of the brother-in-laws, and that guy lost. So who could the other brother-in-law be? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hands together. Mr. Peter Vinci, come on in. Welcome to the weekly update. first timer here.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry I had to give the introduction the way I did. Basically
goodness.
saying that you lost. I mean, we can't run away from these facts.
You really can't, but at the same time, I'm going to run and jump and scream and hide just like the girl that Jeff really doesn't know.
What are you talking about?
Don't worry about it. Just move on.
Wow. Speaking of Jeff, coming in at 2-0, taking on the Valhalla Hammerless Vandals, by the way. Hammerless. Oh, another bad omen.
You set the hammer down?
The hammer down in the championship. Move this away from you. I don't need you like touching it, breathing on it, whatever it was you were going to do with it.
It's a good idea.
We're not going to do that. Valhalla Vandals coming in at 0-2. You were desperately looking for a win.
Yep.
And it did not happen. 99 points for Jeff, who did claim to me he was going to go above 100 for the third week in a row.
Which he just fell short of.
But I'm going to say, you tell me, Peter, is 99 above 100?
No.
It's not. Okay.
It's not.
Now, you, though, fell short of that, 62.5. We already covered it. Lamar Jackson on a tear, 40 points.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown, 12.5. Jeff Chubb put up a solid 12 this week. Jonathan Taylor, still...
Not producing as much as I was expecting.
Not what we would have thought coming out of Jonathan Taylor for sure.
Exactly.
7.5 points. I would have taken 7.5 points because none of my guys actually were above 8.5.
Same here.
Yeah, right. Well, hold on. Damian Pierce had his first big week, 13 points.
He did.
Mahomes only 12. You need more from him. Hyungwei Koo, who you picked up, 12 points. J.K. Dobbins got to start, and he played.
Barely.
3 points for him. Now, you fall to 0-3. Jeff goes to 3-0. However, notice I didn't mention two of Jeff's individual running backs.
Correct.
1, Travis the Bozo Etienne, and 2, James Robinson in that hot tub. Yeah! Woo! They were both on Jeff's bench. How many points did James Robinson score on Jeff's bench? Not that it mattered. 17.5. Travis the Bozo Etienne, 5.5. So, if we update the totals, we are now looking at 49 for James, 14 measly points for Travis, the Bozo, Etienne. Will you do the honors, sir?
Now, didn't you offer a trade for one of these guys?
You know, Peter, you are spot on. I did. I offered Jeff Rashad Bateman and my second-round pick for Travis Etienne.
And a second-round pick?
And a second-round pick, Peter. And Jeff said no, because he's got it all figured out, and he's already won the league.
Sounds like it could be
All
a
right.
Vingy Cringy.
Wow. You heard it here first, folks.
Maybe.
We're calling for the Vingy Cringy.
No. We're not calling for it. Just a maybe.
A maybe. Okay, we'll put it
in
on
the
list.
back pocket.
Back pocket. Coming else next up, the Radioactive Monkeys 2-0, taking on D's Nuts at 1-1. This game was, I guess, you know what? I was going to do the math, and I didn't. I think we've scored fewer points as a league these first 3 weeks than we did last year. There have been a lot of a couple really big scores, but a lot of low scores. This one, too, 77 for Adam, Swartz, 61.5 for Adam Saltmarsh. If you're D's Nuts, the Philly defense, 17 points. DK, 12.5. Najee in his final swan song performance. More on him in a little bit. 11.5 points. Allen, all I do is catch touchdowns. Lazard got 10. Matt Stafford, 4. George Kittle, 2. Didn't matter. Joe the Mistake Burrow on the bench, 26 points. Didn't need him this week. May in the future, if you're salty, boy. 2-0 start. Some claim maybe smoke and mirrors. He hasn't looked good, but he's got victories that you and I don't have.
No, that's correct.
And so,
that is correct.
Now, Thielen did catch his 50th touchdown. Whoopity-doo.
Good job.
13 points. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 10.5, and having a redemption season. Kyler Stupid-Face Murray, 6 points. He was 18, averaged over the first 2 weeks. He was down, of course, 12. Now, had he had those extra 12 points this week, Salty still would have lost, but it would have been nice. However, Stephon Diggs, 7.5. He's averaged over the first 2 weeks 29 points. So
pretty impressive.
Well,
the thing that's amazing about this matchup, though, both quarterbacks added together, 10 points total for the starting lineups. 10.
That's
10.
You know what? That's more than my quarterback scored. More on that
later.
Individual later. So, Adam Swart goes to 2-1. Salty falls to 2-1. Last game here before we get to the trade analyzation segment. Dickweed coming in at 1-1, taking on hashtag Team Dead Horse at 1-1. Team Dead Horse rose up from the...
Why are you doing that?
Dude,
what's going on?
What is the story? You're destroying my set.
I
let
sorry.
you in here for a week. My nice award I got.
I'm sorry.
What is it? It's a special award? No, a major award.
Major award.
Wow. Team Dead Horse got up off the ground for 82 points this week. Dickweed fell short at 65.5. Mark Andrews, 2 big touchdowns, 20 points for him. Kirk, I think he's a professional quarterback in the NFL. Cousins had 16. Daniel Carlson, 11. By the way, Daniel Carlson still my all-time favorite Vikings kicker. The Vikings never should have cut him. Cortland Sutton, 10. Austin Eckler, 6 points. In 2022, he's averaging 7.5. Last year, he averaged 14.6 points a game.
That's incredible.
Half this year is what it was last year. Maybe that's the Herbert injury. Maybe that's another year under his belt. I don't know. Definitely going the wrong way. Justin Jefferson, 1.5 points. Oh, Justin Jefferson. Oh, he made us look bad. By the way, week 1, Jefferson had 32.5 points. Since then, he has gotten 6.5 combined over the last 2 weeks.
That's still more than all your wide receivers put together.
That is false. You'll see my wide receivers led my team, sadly.
Browerville math, is a little off.
Well, I try.
I know. You're doing great.
For Dickweed, Saquon Barkley had himself a night, 20 points. I said it. Now, again, John falls to 1-2 with this loss. If Saquon Barkley turns this around or is able to sustain this, I should say, this could be the guy that leads John back to the playoffs.
Maybe.
Evan McPherson, Justin Herbert both had 10 points. Cole Kmet finally gets on the board for a whopping 3 points. Yep. Jerry Jeudy, 1. In week 1, Jerry Jeudy had 18 points. The last 2 combined, 1.5. Another one of those players that had a big first week, has fallen off. And we've seen that in the past, but it's something to watch going forward. All right, my friend, we have come to the section we're going to talk trades.
Yes.
And I want to hear, now, of course, you were involved in a couple of these. I was involved in one of these.
Yep.
I want to hear your thoughts on this. Trade number 1, Adam Swart, D's Nuts, trades away Najee Harris, an 11th round pick, to Andy for Miles Sanders in a second. What do you think?
I think it's a smart trade.
For who?
For D's Nuts.
Really?
Yeah.
Please elaborate.
I think that Najee Harris does not have a chance to produce the numbers that everybody was expecting him to produce at the beginning of this year.
And Miles Sanders does?
I think he does. I think he has a better chance.
I mean, I do like that he got a 2nd round pick out of it, but I don't know, man.
We'll just see where everything lands at the end of the year. But
Sanders is on a better team.
He is.
I think Najee's a better player.
I think that Sanders has a better offensive line to let him run the ball,
sure.
right?
But they've got other guys running the ball.
Sure.
It was an odd trade nonetheless.
Yep.
All right, next trade is mine. And actually, I want to come clean here. I've been lying to all of you. I don't like that. I don't like the way it feels coming out of me. And I hate that my friends, my fans, my fellow FTLers, I've been lying to you. I've been lying to you. For the last few weeks, I have come on this show and I've told you about how much I appreciate and love Russell Wilson. I've said it week after 3 weeks running now. And I've continued to espouse what really was just a lie. Because I hate that man. I hate him. I hate that he was on my team. I hate his stupid face. I hate that he sucks in Denver. I had hopes. I'll be honest. I thought this was going to go better. And I was okay letting Aaron Rodgers go. Jeff, I'm not trading you for Aaron Rodgers, so let it go. But there was so much hope that this was going to go better. Sure. I should have known. I can't exist on a team with that man. I just can't.
When you drafted him,
yeah,
I kept giving you beers, right?
You did.
And you drafted him.
I did.
Do you think it was a weak moment because of all the beers?
No, I don't. And actually, Sid Hagen, after I drafted him, said, "Oh, I really wanted him. I had stolen him." And now this week, I did call Sid, and I said, "Sid," or I sent him a text, "You're welcome. You're welcome that I took this abomination of a quarterback and human being and put him on my team. That lumpless sack of crap, Russell Wilson. Guess what, Russ? Guess what? I didn't think this was going to happen this early, this soon. I had my hunches that at some point we were going to get to this point. But Russell Wilson, you, my not friend, just made the list. Good riddance, Russell Wilson. In his place, and Jamal Williams, who I'm sad to see go as a former Packer, Trevor Lawrence comes in, and also Michael Carter Jr. of the Jets. This was a trade for me trying to get going in a different direction with the quarterback. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Speaking of the man who I protected, Sid, a captain of #T Dead Horse, was involved in a trade just last night.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw this. He traded for one Joe Nixon.
Nixon.
Yes.
apparently
I am not a crook.
not a crook.
Not that guy. However, the Nixon you traded for is a crook.
That is correct.
He, by the way, has been sitting on death row in Texas for a handful of years now, awaiting his final moments. That's right. Sid, in an effort to bolster the toughness of his roster, went straight to the pen and got Joe Nixon. And in the process, gave up a second-round pick.
You know, sometimes you make good decisions, and then you make these.
Right. Joe Nixon and a 12th for Rashad, Penny, and a second goes to Matt. I guess we'll see. I'm sure. I don't know if Matt even knew he had Joe Nixon on his team.
I don't think he did.
And so I will be curious to see them play again. Maybe someday when we can have Mixon versus Nixon. Could be a really exciting time. All right. Last and certainly not least, Peter, you were involved in not one but two trades this week.
Correct.
The first one, Run CMC, a 3rd-round pick and a 10th-round pick come your way.
Yep.
And in return, you gave up one of your keepers,
Yep.
Jamar Chase, a 2nd-round pick and a 6th-round pick.
Correct.
Do you have some sort of intel into Christian McCaffrey's availability for the remainder of the season?
No, I don't. But I think one of the things that really stuck out to me was that Burrow and Chase do not have the chemistry that they had last year.
Okay.
Also, the way that the offense is being run,
Okay.
the play distribution and the play choices are completely different.
All right.
So I'm not seeing Chase have the same kind of production that he did last year. Here's the thing. He's still one of the best wide receivers in the entire game.
Yes.
He really is. And if Burrow really turns it around and Chase succeeds, hey, good for them. But I needed a running back. I needed a running back that could be decent for at least the next 3 to 4 years. McCaffrey's what, 25 years old? Is it 25?
25 going on 38.
Yeah. No, not at all. He's 25 years old. Let the man run.
Will you throw and break stuff and curse loudly when he gets hurt this season?
Yes, I probably would.
All right, we'd like you to come back on the show.
I probably
We'll have like a smash room we'll
Yeah.
set up, and we'll just let you just destroy stuff.
Speaking of things that people getting hurt and running backs getting hurt.
Yeah, what about?
What's going on with Cook?
You know what? We're going to get to that man a little bit here.
In a minute?
Well, he was on my team this past week.
I know.
Well, actually, he wasn't. Whose team was he on? He was on... Dude, that game is coming up next. Don't worry.
Okay, it's coming
You're
up
jumping
next.
the
All right,
gun.
sorry.
You got me all nervous.
All
I
right,
forgot.
sorry. No, you're good.
Okay, your second trade. You acquired Gabe Davis and Dawson Knox.
Yeah.
And you gave up Kyle Pitts and an 8th-round pick. Now,
Correct.
you had multiple tight ends.
3.
At your disposal.
I still have 3.
Who did you pick up?
Irv Smith.
Well, never mind. You got Dawson. You got.
Yeah, I got Dawson
What
in
is
the
your
trade.
fascination with tight ends?
Well, I mean, we're not going to go there on that side of things, but for tight ends in fantasy football, I think that they're a utility player that we can utilize. Not only that, nobody's producing right now. There are 2 tight ends that are even worth saying their names out loud on the show right now. I just am hoping that one of them actually turns a corner and starts to produce this year.
Would you consider flexing a tight end?
Maybe.
I mean, would you feel comfortable flexing a tight end?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. I mean, it's been done before. I've seen tight ends flexed.
It all depends on the matchup in the week and how many of my wide receivers are injured. So
all right,
we'll go from there.
All right. Well, so I mean, you and I both looking for help.
Yes.
We're 0-3.
Exactly.
Things had to change.
Had to move.
And
Shake
change it up. They will. One of those changes, of course, involved a trade I made with Andy last week.
Yeah.
Where I got Aaron Jones. Showtime, baby. Showtime. I got Showtime. I got Amon-Ra St. Brown and a pick. And I gave up Dalvin Cook. And who else did I give up in that? I gave up another receiver, didn't I?
Someone.
See, I clearly doesn't even matter.
Exactly. Doesn't matter.
And, of course, my 1st-round pick. And what does Dalvin Cook do? What does he do the first week back?
Ow! My shoulder!
Hold up.
Ow!
Hit the button, my friends. Cue the music. Wet paper sack alert! That's right! Wet paper sack! Woo! He had it. He ran into his own guy, got hurt, and fumbled all in the same play.
My shoulder!
Oh,
And I'm
God.
a big Cook fan, but come on.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
He did get 12 points, a season-high 12 points,
Hey.
Which did lead to Andy winning 77.5 over the architect, who only scored 73 points. He joins you and I as the 0-for-3 teams.
Yep.
One of those 2 teams is going to not have an O in front of their name, most likely.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that here in a little bit. Also for Andy, Jalen Hurts, 24 points. CeeDee Lamb on a miraculous touchdown catch late on Monday night. Sealed the victory, 14 points.
Oh, that had to have sucked.
McCaffrey and Sanders, 7 points, 2 points in their final swan song for each team. gone. If you're Matt, Derek Carr, 18 points. Christian Kirk, 13. In 2020, Christian Kirk averaged 7 points playing for the Cardinals. In 2021, he averaged 7.2 points playing for the Cardinals. The Jaguars paid him a lot of money to be their top guy. This year, he is averaging 13.7 points. Almost double. Needless to say, it seems to be paying off for them. It hasn't necessarily paid off yet for Matt. Zeke Elliott and Devontae Adams both had 10.5 points. Zeke played better, but again, not quite there. Almost got a victory. Snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. Last and definitely least, the Hulkamaniacs at 0-2 coming in, taking on my brother-in-law, the Pack Attack at 2-0. Eric scored 118.5. I didn't even need to mention what I did.
41 points, just for the record.
I said we didn't need to mention it.
It's okay. I will.
No, listen, my notes are here. You notice this line?
Yeah, there's nothing on there. I'm ready with this, guys.
No, there was.
So,
we're not.
And if we also take a look at the power ranking charts right now, someone's not even.
Hold up. Did Jeff Marks just slip into your body?
Not at all.
Is that what's going on here?
No. Someone went from the champ to completely bottom. Now, granted, I was third place, but now I'm third worst. So it's almost a mirror flip-flop this year for both this guy and this guy. So 41 points. Is that your all-time low ever scored in this league? I know it's a beautiful belt, but I'm just curious.
Sorry, I can't hear you over the shininess of this belt. What are you talking about over here?
I don't understand. What are you saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. All right, well, let's talk about how your
Eric's
brother-in-law
team,
won.
118.5. Josh Allen, Swart probably should have kept 22 points. Cordero Patterson, who had an off week last week, came raging back 16.5, along with the man who I kind of called out, Derrick Henry, 16.5 as well. Brown had 15. Mike Williams, 6.5 was Eric's lowest point scorer. We already said it. No one on my team hit double digits. 41 points is one of the lowest scores in all of our flex era. It was a bad week.
It was.
And it's going to be the low.
You're going to move on.
It's going to be the low.
Yep.
Again, last year I was 2-3 after 5 weeks, and I rattled off 9 out of 11 over the next. So
I think I was 6-0, and then I barely made
and then
the playoffs.
you
barely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Take heed, Mr. Markser, Mr. Like. Yeah, it's not all daisies and rosies and duckies and bunnies.
We're not saying, we're just saying.
There's a whole season to be played, you chumps. All right, stud, the dud, and the cringy. Stud of the week, Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's been the stud of the month pretty much. Right? Yeah. 40 points. Dud of the week, my team. The whole damn roster. All of them, they just were pitiful, awful, terrible. I did include Jerry Jeudy and Justin Jefferson on the dud of the week because they both had awesome first weeks and then did nothing the last 2 weeks. I know they were... Jefferson was in a winning effort for his team. Jeudy was not, I believe, for his.
Nothing beats your team.
Cringy for the of this. Any of the trades, maybe. I mean, we have trades like this. We have these big stars that are being traded. Yeah. You have to look back later and look at that. You know what I put on this, and I'm curious because, of course, last year you somehow found a way to get a kicker on, not just any player, but a kicker on IR, the non-existent IR.
Correct.
And this year you somehow figured out how to roster an extra player.
So I think what happened was when the trade went through, it was 2 players for 1 player, and then the system automatically moved the players around, and I wasn't notified that I needed to drop a player yet.
What you're saying is this was the computer's fault.
Exactly. Or Sid's, either one.
Why can't we outrun this? Why
we just
can't we outrun it was the computer's
Not many of us
fault.
run, period. Am I right?
God. All right. Anyways, that was the stud, the dud, and the cringy. Week 4 is going to be North versus South, part 2. And boy, oh boy, part 2. Un, deux, trois, deux.
Sorry.
Hot Shots part 2.
Spy?
That's German. We're going French.
Oh, we're going French, huh? How about Dos Equis?
Dos Equis.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. We can do
that.
All right. That sounds good.
All right. Big game at the top of the chart for next week. 2 3-0 teams enter. 1 0 will have to go. Mana, 4-time Lucky Pants, breaking and entering, title stealing champ Mana, coming in at 3-0, taking on the Pack Attack, also 3-0, 2 highest scorers in the league, 2 undefeated records, 2 folks who I can't wait see to lose. Let's be done with this. Gosh.
That's aggressive.
Oh, right. You know what? But I'm not going to put him on the list because this week's all about stupid face Russell Wilson. I hate your face. And you're stupid. Dude, if I'm Denver, whoever the GM is in Denver, does he sleep much right now? There can't be a lot of money got handed out to him to do what? To suck. God. The Monkeys 2-1, who sucked this week, taking on the Mixing Cocktails at 2-1. This is another big one.
It is a big
2-1
one.
team. Can you get to 3-1? And of course, I think the magic number is like 7 for the playoffs. You know, if you get to 7, you're probably guaranteed to get in. You know, a third win puts you just that much closer.
Yep.
Hulkamaniacs 0-3 coming in, taking on the Architect at 0-3. By the way, 2 years ago, Matt and I both won our divisions, and here we are now, both of us scraping barrel.
You know what? It's only the third game.
You know what? You're damn right. It's the third game. D's Nuts 2-1 taking on Cramerica to a lot of every record is the same except for you and Dickweed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, I know. D's Nuts 2-1 taking on Team Dead Horse, also at 2-1. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, the Hammerless Val Vandals at 0-3 taking on Team Dickweed, who came out of the gates just all sorts of piss and vinegar and then promptly limped to a just paltry 2 weeks. And so that's that.
Yeah.
That's the end of it. I mean, it's week 4. We're nearing the end of the first month of the season.
Perfect.
You know, and we've got 2 months plus a week left. Lots of football to be played. Lots of stories to be told. Mm-hmm. But that, my friends, is it for this week. Mr. Vingy, thanks for being here. Vingy, did I say this right?
It's Vingy, and
that's
it's Valhalla. Okay. Don't worry about it. You get it wrong, but that's okay. I still love you.
The Valhalla, you know what? Maybe I say Valhalla on purpose.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. Back to that Browerville education of yours.
Guess what? I will now.
Good job.
All right, my friends. Until next week, peace. Yeah, I am a little upset with you right now. What am I paying you for? What? Really? Let's think about this for a second. It took forever to get this, and now on the first chance I have to defend it, this is what you've done through 3 weeks to help? Come on. Like, this is go fix it, and go fix it now.